Jesper, that didn't look like a team that had just played less than 72 hours ago and had a big flight home. The intensity you brought right from the start continued to the end. Just talk a little bit about that and just the overall performance today.
I think it's been important for us to not focusing on a schedule and not focusing on being tired and talk ourselves into being tired. I think what has been important for us is that we have pushed all along and set high demands for the players. Also, when we have been rotating, it's not that um, today is not a free ride when you play. It's you have to perform, and we have to perform together, and we are ambitious. So we believe that we can go out and also push the buttons physically. I think the players did well. I think we played. We got very good flow in our game early on, and we created some chances. Salt Lake went up pressing. I think that we had a very good structure with the ball and played through the pressure and over the middle a lot of times and got into very good situations. And that gave us the upper hand, I would say, in the game. We conceded a couple of big chances in the first half. I was not happy with that, but in the second half we kept it pretty clean defensively, except for the two situations where one there obviously wasn't a penalty, and the second one where there was. But I think it was the second half defensively was good, but then we accelerated the game too much in the end instead of keeping cool and then play the chances big enough. But it was okay. I was happy with the performance and also with with the players performing, and when they get the chance, they're ready.
It's been a really intense start to your time here, two game weeks for what feels like 5 months already. But you've got a little bit of a break now in that you've got one game weeks for about probably 3 weeks. Do you welcome that, or are you enjoying this? Do you want this to just keep going and ride the momentum that you've got?
Yeah, it's a good question because you would always say, yeah, now we can get a little bit of a break and train and get some things done also on the training pitch and maybe get some players into some training sessions they need, like a Sam. He has played a lot, even though he haven't been training that much, and all of a sudden he gets in, play 2 times 45 minutes, and then again today 25 minutes in just 6 days. So he needs to get to train, and we have other players also. We need to see if they can get back Matthias from injury and stuff. So I think you always welcome a little break. We have played 19 games already, so maybe it's a good occasion to get something done on the training ground as well. But on the other hand, as you are saying, yeah, we have momentum, and you don't want to break that up if you can avoid it. But yeah, we'll not talk that much about the schedule. We'll be ready next time we play again.
Jesper, 8 wins in your last 10, and like Michael said, there's been a lot of games and injuries. What can that say about the depth of your squad?
I think the depth of the squad is what you make of it. We can talk and say, okay, we don't have a deep roster. Okay, then we don't have it. But if we start playing people and they perform and they do well, all of a sudden we have a deep roster. So I think it's all about what you make of it. Help the players, make sure that they have a teammate on his side that are always ready to help out if things are difficult, and then believe in what you're doing. I think that's been the key for us, and I think that's made our roster deep as well. I think we have good players, also good players not coming in today. So I think, we have a deep roster, and we also made it deep by trusting players to be able to perform.
Hey, Jesper, forgive the broadness of this question, but the best start in MLS in 15 years. We've talked a lot about it. How do you sustain it? Is it sustainable?
I think the pace we're at right now will be difficult to keep up. If we're talking about the amount of points we got in the amount of games, right? We could also today, unfortunately, we could also have not won the game today. That's just how football sometimes is, and you had got the first penalty. Now they didn't. Then it would have been even score, and it would have been a struggle to the end. So there'll also be games where we think that we could have won, that we shouldn't, that we won't. But I'm so fortunate that I don't know much about the history and all this, so I'm not that focused on it. We we are very happy, and normally, when we also have this deep run in Champions Cup, it's not that easy to do that well in the MLS. But I think everybody has been doing excellent, and I can only praise the players, to be honest, and also the staff around the players, the medical team, and everybody has been working lights out to reach this level. So I think it's good, and we won't stop here, I hope.
Jesper, you mentioned in your first answer the way that your team is able to play out of the press, especially with RSL pressing so much higher in the second half. One player that really stood out in the ability to do that was Yohei, especially in the way that the striker started to press him. He always was able to turn and find someone. How important is he to the way that you start your attacks, starting from the goalkeeper?
Very important. It's very important that we can use him. It becomes an extra player, and we can also see the way they move up in the game today with an extra attacker moving up. If we play Yohei and he is calm, then they open up space for Andres in behind the two strikers. And if we play in behind those players, then the pitch opens up behind them. So I think Yohei is also a big key for the way we would like to play and the way he plays with his feet and the solutions he's able to make for us, and we also know how we should play when we play him, and I think that everybody is just getting better and better sense of how we can beat the opponent's pressure when they try to play. Because if we play close to Yohei, then we play with an extra player, and that opens up space in other spaces on the pitch. And if they go press our goalkeeper, then it means that there will be one extra player open. So, and then Yohei, it's very important that he knows what to look for, and he does. So it's very, very good.
And then I wanted to ask about Pedro Vita today, because I felt like whenever he had the ball, he looked up and he put a dime every time across the pitch for either Jaden or Ali or whoever in front of him. He's playing with a kind of swagger that I don't think we've ever really seen him play with before. What did you think of his performance overall?
I love to watch Pedro play because you can see how much he enjoys playing football, and you can see that things look so easy for him right now. So sometimes you just get this feeling that when you have the ball, everybody around you is freezing, and it's like when Pedro has a ball right now, it's like he just knows what everybody else is doing, and then he just cannons one ball to the right and one to the left, and you can also see how much he enjoys himself. So I think that's a good thing. He's relaxed and not tense, and when you're relaxed and you know what to do, then football becomes easy. Way too often you're way too tense, so then you get a little stressed. But right now Pedro doesn't look that stressed when he has the ball, to be honest. Sometimes maybe he should be a little bit more tense, but okay.
Hi, Jesper. I wanted to know, how have you shaped the team dynamic to allow the team to reach 10 unbeaten games?
Yeah, I wish I had that formula. I wish that it was a formula, but it isn't. I think it starts and ends with the players. The way they want to work every day, the way they want to be together, the way they want to, be together on and off the pitch. It's very important that you also have a very good group off the pitch. We are traveling a lot. Last week we were away for 4.5 days, of almost 5 days, and it's very important that they also enjoy time together outside of the pitch. And what we also want to do is that we want to make them coach each other, right? That's very important. So if they know, Yohei knows on set piece that the guys have to be here and here, okay, then he can go grab them, right? And make sure that people are in the right position, and we can go and we can coach each other and know, okay, no, you have to be there. And that's the thing we try to work on, and everybody is, getting more and more responsible for the way we want to play, and then it's easy for guys just to, make sure that things, that we try and do it the right way. And we make a lot of mistakes in every game, but there's always a guy to make up for it. So it's very good. And football is a game of mistakes, but we know our structure, we know how we want to build the game, and people also know that they're allowed to make mistakes. Otherwise, they get too tense again, and we just need to make sure that we as coaches make a structure where those mistakes will not, kill us in the game. So I think it's everybody has chipped in and are doing great. I don't have any formula. I wish I had, but I don't think it exists in this sport. But it starts and ends with the players.
Jesper, I'm sorry if you answered this question at training yesterday, but I know Brian White didn't dress tonight. Is it an extended thing, or do you think like with a week off he'd be available for next week to play?
Yeah, he'll be available for next week. It was mostly precautionary. He felt something in Miami, and then we took him off the pitch also because he had a yellow card from the first game. We didn't want to risk anything. We're still very early in the season. Have we been late in the season? He might have been playing today. We don't know, but. The right thing after a long travel, also back from Miami, was not making a small issue into a big issue. So I think that we just made a decision that we kept him away.
Jesper, Brian White, exceptional at hold-up play, getting long balls, holding off defenders, and allowing the play to come up. Tonight, I don't know if we saw one instance of that from Daniel Rios. A different profile, of course, but he also seemed to have trouble sort of integrating himself into the offense at times. Just what were your thoughts on his performance overall?
Daniel is doing well, I think. It's always difficult when you have to stand in for one of your team's biggest profiles, but I think Daniel has been very good. He came in a pretty bad shape and has also played himself into shape, and I think that he is doing very well today. In the first half, we played over him where he dropped down in the pitch a couple of times. And he is also well to, the game doesn't stop with him. Now he has missed 2 penalties. That's, of course, unfortunate because an attacker would like to get those 2 into goal and get on the score sheet. He helps us on set piece, both offensively and defensively, and also he's not the same threat deep as Brian is. Which makes the pitch a little bit shorter for him, but I think a little unfortunate. He had a good opportunity in the first half where he didn't hit it really well, and then in the second half, of course, the penalty. So it wasn't really. It could have been a good night for him, but it was not the, as an attacker he would like to score. But I think he does a lot of good things. He's a clever player. He's also good against the ball, and knows exactly what to do when we are in pressure. And I would like to have seen him score a goal, but he didn't, and I know that he would have liked that himself, but that's just, it will come.
As a coach, you mentioned he missed a couple chances, including the second PK. As a coach, how do you sort of help him with his psyche to make sure he stays confident as a player?
There's just so much we can do. I think he has participated greatly to the team's success, and that's what I'm mostly interested in. And then, of course, work with him in the situations he will get in when he gets his chances. If he wants to work a little bit more on his penalties, then he can do it himself. But that's not a thing for me to help him with. But I think that making sure that we put him in situations in training sessions where he can we can try and simulate what happens in the games. But and then he just needs to see one get in one day, I think, and then it'll be good.
Jesper, speaking of the penalty situation, obviously you can't know in advance whether someone's going to be successful from the spot, but what do you do both as a coaching staff and then as the team out in the pitch? What's that process like to decide who takes the penalty? What factors go into it?
We have an order before the game where we put that in. And then, of course, if we have the feeling that it could be good for one player to maybe see if the ball goes in, then that could be also a factor. But we had Daniel already on beforehand, and then he took it. So no, it's not that they just figure it out themselves. We help them a little bit.
Jesper, one more from me. You talk about how you decided to not play Brian today as a precautionary measure, yet your team was still able to score twice without him. Could have scored more had Rios had a little bit more luck. Before the season started, you talk about how you wanted the team to score more as a team rather than rely on individuals. How pleasing is it to see that week in and week out with even Tristan Blackman having a striker's finish in the box there for the second one?
Yeah, maybe we should put him up front. No, I think some of the things we've been lacking as a team and has been scoring from the second line. We have now seen that come into. We worked a lot with that. Pedro and Sebastian has really got getting into positions now where they have the opportunity to score from the second line, because we know that in our front line we have players that can score. We also normally have relied a little bit on Ryan to get in those situations and scoring opportunities. But if you look at the second goal we scored in Miami, for instance, Pedro played the ball deep for Ali, and then he ran 50 meters to get up to the edge of the box and ended up finishing out. When we saw the second goal against Miami at home, where we saw Sebastian where he came from when we had the counter attack that led into the second goal, he came also from the second line when the ball went through Brian and went through Sabi. So I think that's something that we've been looking into, how we can get more players into the box. When we saw against Minnesota as well, we got Pedro into the box to score, and that's something we have spoken a lot about with him and also with Sebastian, not just staying outside the box but run all the way in. Goldie is a player that's actually really, really good at that. Not just staying, but really have the opportunism to go in, and then when there's a loose ball, he's on the move in and can put it in the back of the net, and that's what we need. And that's very satisfying to watch right now. We need a couple of other players to also just see the back of the net, and then I think we've had a lot of players already scoring. So. It's about the opportunities we create for each other. Then we know that normally our strikers will be those with most. And Brian, of course, a very good finisher. He will often end up with most goals. But it's very important that others are dangerous as well. Otherwise, it will be too easy for our opponents to just shut us down, I think. You good? Good.